I'm from the U.S. originally, been here a long time. I do consulting, remote consulting, mostly with PHP and databases and more front-end kind of stuff these days too, but that's about it. I'm also your first warm-up act. Mine's just a 5-minute little, there we go, 5-minute little gig to get things going while he finishes his presentation. Right. Can you hear me okay? Do I need to talk like this? Okay.
You can show the actual Slack chat room as a...
Yeah, I'll show. How many folks are in the HN Kansai Slack channel, by the way? Good, most of you. The rest of you, I assume, have used Slack before, so you know what this is going to be about anyway, and you can try this out later on. I've got starting a new client next week, so I had a few days to just mess around and do a bit of this and that, and I'd always wanted to play with some bots and that kind of stuff. And so a few days ago, I figured out how to make a slash command in Slack. And so I put one in the main channel for HN Kansai in order to be able to check via Meetup API to find out what time the next meetup would be for us and for a couple other common ones, or if you want to put the whole URL, anything on Meetup, you can just go ping it, whatever. So I thought I'd show real quick how I did that, and then we move on. So the difference between a slash command and a bot in Slack is the slash command is when you put the slash. That's why they call it that. Okay. But the main difference really technically is that you're talking to yourself with a slash command. Nobody else can see it. A bot actually has webhooks and can push notifications up to the thing. So have any of you used things like Codeception or any stuff like at work, where when a task finishes, it pushes to Slack to let you know about it? Okay, that's a bot. It's able to push to Slack, and also you're able to create those things and ask it questions and go get information if you wanted to make something like that. Well, the slash command is a much simpler version. You just put a slash, in this case, slash when is the next meetup, and it goes out and hits the API and comes back. Okay, so that's all I made. I'm not going to try to go through the code. It's going to either be really boring for some people who are already familiar with this kind of stuff, or better to just sit at home for 5-10 minutes is about all it takes and just make one yourself. So the place that I put it at, if you go to Medium at Code by Jeff, and then look for me, and you'll find my article, and it literally takes about 10 minutes to go through and just do it yourself if that's something that's interesting to you. But getting a little bit interested in bots because I did a little bit of work recently for a company called botlist.co, and just started being a little bit more aware of what all kinds of people are doing with marketing and things with bots. And so I suspect that we're going to start to get, as programmers, a lot more requests to make bots and do bots for clients if you're doing that kind of work, whatever. This is the article, and I'm not going to read it to you at all, but just kind of show you specifically what you need to do. So you want the Slack account, and surprisingly, if you're a member of an organization, of a team, you can just go make these. There don't seem to be any restrictions. That really surprised me. It surprised Rafa as well. He's like, "You just made it on my channel?" He's like, "Yeah." They don't restrict you on that. So be nice and ask or go make your own. Maybe there's a way they can turn it off. I don't know. In our case, just a regular Meetup account. Just sign up so that you can get a little API key. That's the only thing that you need for it. And then a web host somewhere or on your own server or wherever where you can put a single file That's your script that does all of the work that you need it to do. I did mine in PHP, but it doesn't matter. Anything that can have an endpoint and respond, so it can be Node, can be whatever your favorite language is. Okay. And what it is, I don't know how to run your computer.
You can go on the left side, there's dock.
Is that what? Maybe, why don't you run it?
Yeah.
You show them so we can go a little quicker, and because this is only going to be like a 5-minute thing, not a, yeah, just demo. Okay. So where is, okay, whoop, back up 1 sec so it flashes. Yeah. So we're making this, basically, okay? That's the slash command, putting a bit of info on there, and you can,
I'll do it again.
yep.
So it tells you, and then how do you ask for another meeting?
Yeah, and then as a parameter,
Yeah,
okay, try CCC.
just like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
Copying credential. Okay. So that's good. I'll jump back on and show them real quick what I did. Okay. So if you're, how do I get back to your Alt? Shift tab. Max. Thank you. Okay. So it's pretty dead easy. The hardest part of making this was trying to find this particular page in the Slack. Their docs and everything are worse than Google API. I mean, I was just going round and round and round trying to look for something that I could copy and paste into the article to show people. But if you want to make it, I've got it right here. The easiest thing is just go to your team first and start from there, or else it just keeps sending you in circles and stuff like that. Once you do that, you grab a slash command, and then it's just filling out a form. And that's literally all there is to it. You'll scroll down to the integration settings, tell it what you want the slash command to be, give it the URL. Slash will take care of the transition out to your endpoint and back. Okay, so I put XXX. I didn't want to expose the actual site that I put it on, but this is just on my site, and it's just a single file. Okay, made a post. You'll see why. And we make that's what we just looked at. That's what we're going to make. We'll fill in some information so that we can give some default information what we should put in there. When is the next meetup? And then some really dead simple code. This is why I called it the sloppy Slack slash command, because there's no error handling or anything in my script, but it's fine. For meetup, you had to put like the full exact URL to pass in, which was a bit cumbersome. And so I just made some shortcuts for some of the more common ones that people in this area tend to use. You can add on to that. But you can also just post the full, if you want to use it when you're out there, you can just post the full command to it. And there's nothing to it. I grabbed a library. This is just a wrapper around a curl to go hit the Meet API. Okay. So it handles all the icky stuff for me. And I just build the URL down there, send it off, get a response, I format it, and it goes back out to Slack and appears in your thing. And that's it. It's hardly even programming. Okay. But yeah, and a couple little things to watch out for. If that's interesting to you, it'll probably save you half an hour if you read this, because like little things that I figured out, like it's milliseconds, not seconds in their time and stuff like that, but not that hard. But it can be pretty useful. Now there's also the bots, and I didn't have time to set that up, but that might be more interesting to people to use as an actual tool, because you can use push notifications, and you can talk back and forth, and you can get a lot more complicated. And it can also be for everybody in the channel and stuff. So you might want to play with that as well. Okay. But the whole point is, for those of you who've never thought about it or are not programmers, when you see that, oh, Codeception is pushing information in and it all seems like magic, all this stuff talking to each other, this is all it is, and it's not magic. It's just push notifications bouncing back and forth, and you stick up some endpoints and things. Okay. That's about it. Wasn't planning to go very long with that. Anybody have any questions about that? Go ahead. Yeah.
Does that help to see that? Does this your slash command space help? Because I don't understand all of the CCC and without any commands.
Right. Yeah.
So I can see exactly what's available.
Yeah, you could. If it weren't a quick. Oh, you mean could I do it?
Well, is the code up on
It can be done. Yeah. No, the code is the code what?
up on GitHub? Maybe it can be like a collaborative project.
I coded it in my FTP editor. Okay, that's how sloppy this is. Okay, I just sat there like clicking. Oh, does that work? Okay, good. And I mean that just literally copy pasted and made it from that. Yeah, but you can do
I just want to see
a lot more complicated.
See what's available, what commands are available. That's it.
You can just go to read my article and see this.
Well,
No. Yeah, someday I'll build out a little bit more to it. I just did this on like Tuesday for half an hour when I was messing around.
What if your script is badly written, for example, and it turns into an infinite loop? Would Slack notice that and stop the script after a couple of...
That'd be a cool experiment. I'll try that tomorrow. I know if it's broken, it just won't send something back. Right. I don't think it has any kind of. I don't recall if it has any kind of dealing with errors coming back, or if it just conks out. But as far as like Piggy, they must put some. Well, I don't know. I would have thought they put authorization on it too, and they didn't. So who knows what they do? I'll try it tomorrow. I'll let you know. I'll see if it. There's a way of doing it into people's private channels, so I'll test it on you.
So if your script returns like drop table, does it erase the whole Slack?
Nah, it just sends back a string. You couldn't.
Well, you never know.
No X. Well, you never know, but there's a.
Make a slash password slash command to send everybody get.
You could probably fuck with people if you wanted to.
Just tell everybody, oh, you can reset your password easily by typing
You-
the slash command.
Why don't you read my article and try it all out? There you go.
Yeah.
It's a 10-minute thing to make. Yeah. No, it can be fun. It can be handy if you're in a channel a lot and you need to look up things a lot. It could be a handy little shortcut. You can just customize your stuff.
I mean, because Slack is used as a public community thing a lot, and it seems like this thing lets any regular user build a slash command. So you could log into any random Slack, build slash password, and use it to get people's passwords.
Yes.
So, that seems like a security hole potentially for Slack.
I'll just change the reset password slash reset password.
Yeah, and then if someone, if someone happens to type Slack,
Well,
and see that.
one thing that would be a bot anyway. This is a private, it just comes back to you. But all this does is return a string.
Yeah, but if the slash command pings your server, you can store whatever sensitive information is. I don't know, maybe not password, but I'm sure you could exploit this for bad purposes if you really think about it. So, but I'm not suggesting anybody do that, but
Hunter 2. Did anybody get that reference?
What
Hunter 2.
what would you send back that you couldn't just type in the first place?
well, my idea is if you can convince people. Let's say you say like, hey, there's this new feature in Slack. If you type slash password check and then your password, it tells you how secure your password is.
Social engineering is a different thing. Yeah, I'm sure if you're with a
But
group of people,
it will look like
do
a
that
real,
kind
like
of
an
stuff.
official thing because it will be like
Yeah,
pre-made
but that's
command.
social engineering. There's, computers can't stop that.
Same works with internet banking. When someone asks you, here is new page of our internet banking. Please check your password.
Yeah, exactly. So you blog posts, phishing?
Anything
is
slightly
fine.
more serious than how we're going to steal everyone's passwords? Sorry, no, I'm not going to write a new blog post on how to steal people's passwords.
I'll do it then.
All right, go ahead. You probably get more page hits than I did.
Okay.
Good enough. Yeah, so that's about it. Anything if anybody has questions, but like I said, it's a pretty simple thing. Just I did it Tuesday and thought,
I just wonder who wants their meetup to be at a millisecond precise time.
it's a matter of JavaScript storage versus, or not JavaScript, sorry, Java type storage versus PHP, just the way that they store the data. It's a Unix timestamp,
Yeah, well, Unix
and,
is
and
also-
it's stored differently. And I'd never run into it. Rafa found the problem for me. I saw in the code they were dividing by 1,000. What's that's for? And then we looked it up. Yeah. But it's just the way they store the number. It's just extra zeros, actually. It's not even to the millisecond. So.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. Good.